up, everybody? Yes! I'm glad you guys are making a successful channel run for me. I'm honored, I'm flattered if this is your channel as much as it's mine. And we're going to deep dive back into some theory, and I'm going to break apart Angus Young and Yngwie Malmsteen. And you're like, what? How is this going to relate? You will see. You shall see, my ingenious friends of being genius and genius of being ingenious, and I don't know. So let's take a look at Back of Black. Right? Not too complicated. The genius has already started. Please, Mr. Wise Man, explain how this has been broken down by so many people and fallen short. Why? Because they're not angry and they're not obsessed with guitar like I am. So, I think the genius of this is it's very simple. 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 So what do I mean by simple? Let's take a quick look at the E minor pentatonic scale. He's playing all the notes based off of the E minor pentatonic scale. And what is the E minor relative to in major? We got it. G major, just like George Lynch. Now what's the genius of that? You get an F sharp in there, and you can play that half minor, half diminished. And let's get your flat 5 in it. So let's not get into that part yet. So let's take a look. E. What's the fifth of an E? A B. He resolved off the E minor to the B note, because it's a 5 of an E chord. And why is he starting on G sharp? Because it's the next note in the series going all the way up to the B. Probably went backwards counting how many beats. Ka-dang, ka-dang, ka-dang. He needed 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And what's 4 starting on this? A minor third, which gets into Yngwie. We'll talk about that in a minute. Alright, so now you're like, oh, you got my attention. So he's playing an E power chord. No minor, no major. Power. D. What's the fifth of a G? Or, yeah. Fifth of a G. D. And what's the fifth of a D? A. Mr. Young is a genius. He's as good as Lynch. And this is the trick to having and writing songs this well. And what's Angus playing all the time when he solos? A minor, B minor, and E minor. All relative minor keys of the G major system. Now, let's take a look at Yngwie. He has one look. This gets into the pattern and position playing. We're going to take a minor third lick, and it's a neoclassical, and Nuno uses it. He plays, instead of playing here, he plays. Nuno plays it different. He took the minor third lick and omitted a note. Now we're going to start this lick on G major, because that's the root. Oh, that note's out of key. Yes, it is. That note's out of key. Not really. What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat 5. And what's in a flat 5? F sharp minor. This is how close and similar they are with pattern and position playing, but they don't want to tell you their secrets and what made them successes. I don't know, we just jammed. Bullshit. So you take this lick. Now you're going to take this lick and slide your first finger. First finger to pinky. First finger to pinky. First finger to pinky. I just hit E minor. Playing minor thirds. G resolves to the E in minor thirds. Yes, so now we're going to steal his lick. What do you mean you're going to steal his lick? I'm going to steal his notes from his lick to give me some flavor. Ho ho! Flavor! Flav. It don't get better than that, people. So I'm taking this Yngwie lick, and I'm going to move it up again. We know that's flat 4. So we're over here now. That note's in key. That note's not in key. But now I'm in B minor, and I got a chromatic little run. The hell are you playing? That sounds cool as shit. Just playing the notes out of his little red. F sharp minor. With Yngwie's minor lick. What? We could do that. So now I can take these notes over here. It's a matter of taking the notes and making them play in position. A minor, B minor, and E minor. Trick to all my licks and all my playing. I just showed you another 20 years of theory I wasted in GIT. And all this came and dawned on me. How? Couple things. Circle the fifth, resolving off of the fifth on chords, playing them with no minor or major tone, and using pentatonic scales out of the key to figure out what positions I were in to make it easier for me. In a major position over here, you're not going to give too bluesy. But in a pentatonic position, you can. You can shred out of pentatonic. Pentatonic is great. So those are a couple factors. The fives. And then I started realizing how they're tying in the major and minor keys and how they're resolving and substituting chords. But it's all by pattern and position. So if I take certain licks, like a Gary Moore lick, pattern and position. Eddie Van Halen, that's why he plays out of key. He takes that same pattern and he runs it all up. Why? Because he knows that those notes in there, there's a lot of harmonic minors and you can play chromatically. So that's why he knows patterns and positions. He's taking a pattern off a position, A, and then playing it off A up here. That's the beauty of this. You don't have to be a super fly, Paul Gilbert Yngwie, but they use the same system in a more advanced way. That's same like a Petrucci, but it's all based on pattern and position playing. They figured this out like I did, and this is why I write for a lot of people, because of the way that it's all tied in, and they go, oh my god, that sounds great, show me that. I don't get to shred on studio stuff, I don't. But I like to tie it in, and I like to play shred blues. But this is how it all ties in, and it works all together. I hope this explains much more in dissecting Angus Young and Yngwie, tying it all together with the different genres, like Lynch, and they're all using the same ideas in a different way. About patterns, positions, and the way you attack and approach it with your mind. I hope this gives a lot of people out there a different thought process. They say there's always more than one way to skin a cat. We just skinned them all. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see me break apart some more songs like this and show you more on the theory, I think you guys are getting it after this, and we can move on, and we can get to some of the advanced licks, the impossible licks, whatever you want to do. And I just did, Black Friday was here. Thank you to Aaron and everybody, and Steven at Guitar Center Coconut Creek. If you need anything, call those guys. Aaron is a go-to guy, and Steven is unbelievable. They have a lot of great people in there. I got a PRX 18 sub. It was their demo sub. They're $1,500. I paid $600 for their sub off the floor. We thought it was $125, and that would have been a score. So I'm going to bring them some pizza on Friday, on Black Friday. But this is the kind of stuff. And they were actually going to give me the speaker for $125 because that's what it was marked at. But when we ran the serial number, it wasn't the same speaker. Somebody just put the SKU on another, and that one wasn't there. But that's why I always ask. If you see something, hey, is this discounted? That speaker price was $19.99. It was $2,000. And I could have bought that speaker for $125. Now I got a PRX 800 series that thumps like you won't believe. And I just got it as a monitor, maybe put it in front when we rehearse, just to get that big boomy sound because I get QSC subs. But I'll do a thing on that maybe too. Let me know if you want to see more in the writing. Again, today, no fractal, no nothing, straight into my Hughes and Kettner head. There it is. I'll turn it over there. There it is, all lit up. No pedals, no nothing. It's all MIDI going right on. I love this pedal and the amp. You can go right through everything. It's the king of classic rock tone. So, and it's a super high gain amp. All the gain isn't being used. I usually run a tube screamer, and I'll run that with the volume at 11, and I'll run the gain up around probably 10, 11 o'clock, and it cleans up that sound and maintains all the bass and fullness. Again, we've always been taught to run tube screamers full max volume and everything at 0. Not unless it's a super fuzzy amp like a Marshall JCM 800. That's when you want to do that. On an amp like this that has really full tone, you don't run it the same way you would run it on a Marshall. This head has already been EQ'd a lot better than a Marshall, so you would run the volume probably noon and the gain 10, 11 o'clock. There's no noise, so no need for a noise gate, even though that has one built in, but that's how I would run it. So again, you get a little piece of advice on tube screamers. Play with them. Don't just go what everybody says. That might not be the right tone for you. It's all what's pleasing to you and your ears. You don't want to sound like me. I don't want to sound like you. I don't want to sound like Yngwie. So I mess with tones and everything so that I can try to get my own sound. My personal favorite sound tone for a guitar player, for metal guitar players, when I grew up, when I heard Balls to the Wall by Accept, that was unbelievable to me. And I know I saw in the comments that somebody had posted something about Chris Olivia from Sabotage. He was a very good friend of mine. I lived when I was really young with a guy named Derek Damone. He was best friends with the whole band from Sabotage, and they lived up in Tampa area. And Chris lived over here in Coral Springs for a long time, and they used to come over to the house all the time. And I've gotten to sit down and jam with him, and he's an awesome, awesome guy. The day he died in the car crash, I cried. And I don't cry easy. He had a big impact. And I'll never forget, I was just a kid, and he walked into the room I was in. He opened the door, and he goes, "You're just a kid." And he was probably around 20 at the time, 22. And I was probably 16. And I was shredding. And to be honest, I am nowhere the guitar player I used to be. When I was at GIT playing with Paul Gilbert and all those guys, all those years, I had to be on my toes. I was 10 times better than I am now. So if you watch all my videos and go through the impossible licks and go, "This guy's really good," I'm nothing compared to what I used to be. And when I was 16, I was that good. And Chris walked in, and I remember the look on his face. "You're just a kid." And I didn't know who he was. I go, "Yeah." And then I got introduced to him through my buddy Derek. It was an amazing experience for me. I know my buddy Vincent, I know you talked to the bass player lives up by you, and he still remembers me and everything, so that's really cool. So kudos to you and what you're doing. And Mr. Chris Catone, I just saw the old Sam Ash manager. We did a little deal. He moved up to North Carolina. He's got a channel. Chris, post the link to your channel down there. He's got gear for sale. He's selling gear. He's opened a store up in North Carolina. So peace out. Hope you enjoyed the video, everybody. Peace.